This Decorah Coach Conversation brought to you by Hacker Nelson CPAs and Business Consultants, by Viking State Bank, by Olson Explosives, and by Reiser Financial. We're still having conversations with head boys basketball coach John Carlson. That means Decorah is still playing basketball for the first time since 2010. They are in the sub-state round, taking on Western Dubuque at Waverly Shellrock coming up on Monday night. And Coach, let's go back to the district final against Crestwood. You knew going in it was going to be a close competitive ball game. Did you have any idea that you'd have to play 5.5 quarters to get it done?
Well, Darren, thanks again for all your coverage. Hopefully we give you a few more of these to do down the road. I know Coach Mullen has given you a few more, and hopefully another Winnebago County team can do the same for you. And just wanted to say congrats to Coach Mullen and Southwind first off. And man, that's awesome. We'll hopefully match your win here coming up Monday night. So going back to that Cresco game, Darren. I mean, obviously you knew it was going to be a dogfight. You knew it was going to be a Donnybrook, and we kind of talked about that last week, and playing them for a third time, and especially a second time in a week, and knowing that you had taken something away from them on their home floor once, and then to go out and do it again. We like we told our guys, it's not this thing isn't going to be easy, and we told them that over and over again in the huddle, in overtime. And so give credit to them. I mean, they really fought. I mean, a situation where we got down, I think, by as many as 14 in the first quarter. And the guys just kept chipping away and kind of halftime, and that third quarter, kind of back and forth, we were still down. And then finally, I think with about 3 minutes left, we were able to get the lead. And, down the stretch, obviously wish we could have made a few more free throws so we didn't have to give everybody, a heart attack there in the 3 overtimes. But nonetheless, the guys persevered through and got the job done.
How was your ticker after that 3 overtime game there, buddy?
Well, I was doing okay. I sat down afterwards and I was just like, did we win? Because, it's one of those games where you're just like, that final buzzer sounds and that last overtime, and you're like, looked up at the scoreboard. You're like, it was almost just like relief that, you knew that you won. So yeah, no, we're doing okay. So guys tried to test it a little bit, but we're doing good. So
what do you credit your guys' ability to kind of stay the course, getting down big early, as you brought up, getting back in the game, taking that lead, then giving it up? I had a chance to finish it off, but didn't get it done, but eventually won in the end. What do you credit your guys' ability to stay the course and get the job done too?
Well, I honestly think it's a couple things. First off, I think it's a situation where we've put them in those situations. I mean, we talked about those games previously with Cedar Rapids Wash and with Monticello. Those late games there, I think, definitely helped us. Obviously, our conference schedule helped us too. I mean, we're in some tight games with Waverly. Obviously, Cresco first game wasn't that way, but the second time was. Same thing with Wakan. I mean, so I think our schedule prepared us for some of that, and also I think the other thing is, to be honest with you, I mean, I know a lot of other teams do conditioning, but I think our guys, we do an extensive conditioning test at the beginning of the year, for these reasons, and we condition throughout the year. And I think, guys knowing, and it's not necessarily to punish them or anything like that. It's more to train the mind. And we kept telling them that we're ready for this, we've prepared for this is why we do our extensive conditioning. I think that was another thing that paid off for them, that they knew that they had enough gas in the tank to get it done.
You bring up the conditioning factor. For years, basketball coaches have used running as some sort of a punishment, usually if somebody doesn't make a free throw to finish off practice, or if some people aren't paying attention in practice or anything like that. How do you get kids to buy into the notion that we're conditioning for you guys to get the job done in big games like that?
Well, yeah, no, I think, it's a delicate thing, because obviously, it's not a punishment. And so I think the thing that's a message you have to send to them. And to be honest with you, our big message to them is that, to me, it's showing us, okay, who's going to step to the line, and want the basketball in tough situations, who's going to persevere through. who are you guys going to tap out? It's not an easy thing. And so, and also it's a situation where it to me, it molds guys together. I mean, we do stuff where, it allows them to have to lean on each other. And that's more what it's about, is it's about, galvanizing a group, bringing them together, and finding out, kind of who your leaders are, and bringing some of that out in them, which, a lot of times is sometimes hard to do in this day and age without, making it seem like it's punishment. So, I think our guys understand why we do it. And, I think now they're reaping the benefits of that.
It was interesting. I didn't realize this until you brought it up, I believe, on social media the other night. Going back to your sub-state run in 2010, history repeats itself every now and then, doesn't it?
Yeah, different order. Obviously played Cresco first. I go back to that game. I always remember that game because Coach Rollins, one of our assistants who's been with us for a long time, and does an outstanding job. I don't know what we would do without him. He's helps out our youth programs, and I just, all of our coaches. That's the other thing too. I think as head coaches, we don't maybe appreciate our assistant. We appreciate them, but they don't get the kudos like they need to. And we've got a great group. So anyways, but yeah, that game, I always remember because he was freaking out. He was a senior that year, and he was freaking out on the bench. And I remember having to calm him down. I was an assistant at that time, and having to calm him down. It was a typical Decorah Cresco game, and it was just like, no, we'll be okay. And so got that one, and then we played Independence at Upper Iowa. Got that one, and then we played Western Dubuque at the McLeod Center. So yeah, kind of obviously similar path, but maybe different order. But hopefully this time it's a different outcome.
You played Western Dubuque earlier this year. They got you by 21 in early December. How much different of a basketball team are you now as compared to early on in the season?
Yeah, we've talked about that with our guys. It's one of those games that it's hard to be honest with you, to watch. Obviously, we know as far to watch in a sense of that we're a different team, but then they're also a different team as well. They've gotten a lot better. Obviously, playing a 4A schedule. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we're a different team. We had some guys in that game that that we didn't, guys that aren't playing in our rotation right now, and then some guys that didn't play in that didn't play in that game at all that are in our rotation. So obviously, it's a situation where first game of the year is kind of one of those that you look at, and obviously our guys know that we were in that ball game. A couple of our guys, like Charlie and Joe, shot 3 of 17 or 4 of 17 or something, or 4. Excuse me, I think it was 4 of 27 or something like that. So we didn't shoot the basketball particularly well. That was obviously something to do with their personnel as well. They're obviously an outstanding basketball club, but I think it's a game where we look at and go, yeah, we didn't play our best, and we're a different team. So hopefully it gives us a little bit more confidence, but also know that they're a different team too. So we're gonna have to bring it come tonight.
That being said, can you really take away a lot from that game from a preparation standpoint?
You can take away some things. I think more or less just how they play. They obviously have just their personnel. I think they a lot of their personnel in that game are still playing now. So just knowing kind of and obviously having played them last year too. I mean, not obviously we didn't have a lot of our guys graduated from last year, but I think knowing that our guys from last year beat them, and knowing our personnel that we can handle them is I think something that you can take confidence from as well. So there's a few things you can take away from it, not a bunch, but we'll obviously have a different game plan for them here tomorrow night.
When you look at this Bobcat team, what are the biggest challenges that they present?
Well, Johnson, their leading scorer, presents a huge challenge. He's 6'6", 6'7", and really has a quick release from the outside. He can go inside out. We've noticed with him that he's definitely in better shape than he was. Obviously, that's just naturally going to happen, but he's definitely quicker on his feet. He's one guy. Obviously, Baumhover is another guy. They're kind of their two headline guys. The guy, though, that really killed us, and that's one thing that we will take away from that game, was Bryant. I think he had 22 or 23 points. He had like 5 or 6 threes. And so, we're definitely going to have to get out on him and make sure we identify him. And then, they've got DeSoler underneath as a lefty, is a really good player as far as just being able to finish on the basket, athletic, gets a lot of rebounds. So he's kind of their glue guy. So that's another guy, too, that you're going to have to key on. And then they have have a couple other guys too that, Shooty, and I think there's an Altman's kid that, are playing for him. So, their first 6, 7 guys are really solid. So that's definitely something that, we're just going to have to be ready for with them. And, obviously them playing in the MVC all year in 4A, that's obviously one of the reasons too, why we scheduled that Washington game. So our guys can see kind of how that style is. And, it's going to be, one of those games where those 50-50 balls are going to be obviously contested a lot more than they have been in the past. Hopefully our guys are ready for that.
All right, Coach. Well, according to my figures, the last 2 times you played at Waverly Shell Rock High School, you've come away with victories, and hopefully for the first time since this guy was 9 months old and I'm not very young anymore, Decorah can get to the state tournament next week, and you can join Coach Moen and Southwind as 2 Wenatchee County teams to get to Des Moines. It's been a fun ride to this point, and hopefully the season becomes that much more great to come Monday night. We wish you best of luck, sir.
Hey, we appreciate all your coverage, Darren, and yeah, looking forward to having a few more conversations with you. We appreciate it, and thanks again, all the fans out there. I know we've got a great following, and good luck to Coach Moen as well in Southwind.
This Decorah Coach Conversation brought to you by Reiser Financial, Viking State Bank, Olson Explosives, and Hacker Nelson CPAs and Business Consultants.